This absolutely cannot be legal. What happens if you take the upper of the Nike Mercurial Vapor 16 Elite and you mash it together with complete custom fit and custom design with an Adidas torsion frame outsole and sell the whole thing for €100? Well, you get the IDCustomize boot. This is the IDCustomize, I think Blue Arrow is what they're calling it. You can essentially go online, you can add customization elements, such as I've put my little Boot Wizard logo and wizard down here, and you can even adjust and change the shape of the toe box to suit you. So you could have a wider or narrower foot shape. All of this sounds absolutely fantastic, especially for that price point. But there are a couple of big buts here and a couple of maybe ethical or legal questions that we need to cover. Let's start with the upper, the Nike part, which is this knitted upper, which if we just put them side by side, you can see quite clearly is taken from the current Vapor 16, but this is not grip knit. This is exactly what you get on the fake versions of Mercurials. If you were to go out and pick up a fake Mercurial, this is the upper that you would get. It is a knit, but it's exposed, there's no grip to it. It's fine. It's definitely a good bit thicker than what you're going to get on the Mercurial, and it gets filthy and is impossible to clean. I've seen it firsthand myself with a friend of mine who has a pair of the Launch Blueprint Pack Vapors, and they are exactly like this from an upper point of view. It's not bad. It is a rip-off. It is not grip knit, and it is how a fake boot is built. Is it going to be all right? Yeah, it's not going to be bad. There's an awful lot of structure through this section of the boot here, just to stop it being too flexible, because there's not a lot of structure in this upper at all, and I do mean that as a bad thing. There's one thing to have softness and flexibility, there's another to have completely no structure through here. It's just not as well built or as put together as you're going to get from the Mercurial. The Mercurial, after a couple of wears, is going to be far superior to what you're going to get here. So it's fine, but it's cheap and it's a fake. So you've got to kind of question the concept, the morality of it, I suppose, the legality of it, but it's all right. Then the Adidas part, which is this torsion frame outsole, which is from Adidas. So you'll have seen this on some of the Adidas 18.1s, 18 pluses, 19, not the 19, sorry, the 17.1 on the Copas. This is a very well liked outsole from Adidas, and IDCustomize have essentially taken an almost exact replica of it. I think, yeah, it even says torsion frame here, and given you this chrome variation and slapped it on this boot. Now, the outsole itself is definitely of a thinner material than you would get if you were to buy this directly from Adidas. However, what you do find is that on the inside of the boot, if we take the insole out, which actually is grand, you even get a couple of little inserts. It's fine, it's nothing special. There is a very, very substantial inner board in here. Now, what that does is it means that the boot actually doesn't bend and flex through the midfoot at all and has a reasonable amount of responsiveness. Now, it's definitely adding weight to the boot. It's definitely adding a feeling of bulk and a feeling of weight in the bottom of the boot. It's not particularly well balanced as a result of that. But on the whole, it's not bad at all, and it's better than a lot of other boots that are out there. But we have to say exactly the same thing. Is it really... we have to question using the Adidas outsole to just generate this as if it's a fake product. So you're taking items that would be from fake products and just putting them together and maybe charging more than you would for a fake. So you do have to question that. But in terms of performance, probably going to be pretty good. I also want to talk about the heel, because the heel fit honestly isn't great. You know that board that I spoke about, that big thick board in here? Well, what that does is it lifts your foot up off the back of the boot quite a lot. Your foot sits up here, which means that your feeling in the heel isn't one of being locked in and secure. And it also means that the padding feels like it's been designed for a completely different boot in terms of its positioning. What's happening is you're sitting up and the padding's almost starting to grab around like the lower part of your heel rather than anywhere where it's actually going to hold you in place. It is reasonably comfortable, but don't expect a huge amount of lockdown. However, one of the best things about this boot is that customization, especially when it comes to fit. So let's talk about that. Thank you to everybody for watching Boot Wizard. If you are watching and you do want to support us, please head down into top pin comment and into the description where you can look up how to become a Boot Wizard member, so you get videos like this before anybody else, as well as grip sock discounts that are absolutely beyond anything else that I offer. It'll also give you an opportunity to buy the boots that I'm talking about today, and if you pick them up from those links, then I do earn a little bit of commission, which allows the channel to continue. Your support is very much appreciated, and I want to give a huge shout out to my members who are quite literally keeping this channel afloat. So thank you very much to everybody. Please support where you can, and at least by liking the video and getting subscribed as well. So for sizing, you get 3 different options for width: narrow, regular, and wide. And then in the toe box, you get to choose what your foot shape is like. So you can have 4 different variations of how your foot shapes around here so that it fits you better with a more anatomical shape. Both of those things are absolutely fantastic. Now, I only have this version, which I got for my foot type, and it seems to fit pretty well. So I don't know how drastic the differences are between each size, but it's a very cool thing to be able to do, and probably the absolute best thing about this particular boot. And then on top of that, you can of course do different customizations. So as I showed you earlier, I have my little wizard logo and wizard in here. You can change it between boots. It's really like you can be really detailed about where and how big things are. So their customizer is actually pretty awesome. You can't change the colors. So the colors that you get, the overall design is absolutely set as to what you get here. In terms of the actual sizing, I went with my regular size to check these out. So the 26 centimeter Japan size. I have my 26 centimeter long foot, so I went for an exact match. And the length is perfect. Like, my foot comes right up to the end of the boot. It's actually very comfortable because I could work out that shaping. And honestly, that is a really awesome thing to be able to do. So yeah, I've absolutely got questions here about whether we really should be taking what is a fairly average fake knit material and an Adidas outsole and adding a ton of bulk to the point where it affects the boot. But when it comes to the fit and the shaping, maybe excluding the heel, it's actually a pretty cool thing to be able to do. So IDCustomize, a really great concept, definitely needs some work and some fine tuning.